All right, let's hear it one more time for Ashlee Haze.
Don, this is a good-looking crowd. Look like y'all showered, look like y'all smell good. I appreciate that. My name is Ashlee Haze. This is my brother, Sherrod Allen. You heard a good friend of mine, Adon Bean. I'm so happy to be here. And the Gullwing. I like fancy shit. Do y'all like fancy shit? This is nice. This is nice. Y'all put on y'all good clothes. I appreciate this. This is great. So I'm going to tell a few stories. I'm a storyteller, and I storytell through poetry. It's a primary vehicle that I do that. And this first poem is about me. Shocker. More importantly, it is about what happens when you decide to create your own story and your own narrative and not let other people make it for you. This poem is after Rudy Francisco. It is called Autobiography. My name is Ashlee. My favorite color is purple, and I watch way too much Netflix. Like watch an entire season of the Great British Bake Show in like a day much Netflix. I believe in wearing leggings as pants, and almost everything I eat ends up somewhere on my clothes most days. I'm too lazy to actually fold my clothes, so I let them sit in the basket the majority of the week. I exercise at least 3 days a week. And I'm still not comfortable saying that without people looking at me like the liar I used to be. I used to be a liar. Used to tell myself all the things that I would do on Monday, next month, New Year's Day, but now I believe in today's. I don't understand grape-flavored things because they never taste like grapes. My father died when I was 22 years old. I have finally forgiven God for that. I have survived the type of heartbreak that makes monsters out of men, yet I choose softness. I choose healing. I choose love. I choose to open my heart again. I have learned to care less about what people think and learn to walk in my own truth, and that's the most gangster shit I'll ever do. A man made a mess out of me that he couldn't clean up. Then black women and queer folks stepped up to help me finish the job, and if that ain't a metaphor, well, this ain't a poem about courage. A poem about a girl who could have clocked out but didn't. A poem about how life knocked the wind out of me and my village showed up to nurse me back to health. A poem about how much I have loved and lost and got the nerve to still be standing. Damn it, I'm magic. I'm also human and flawed. I have let pain do the talking where love should have. And I'm still forgiving myself for that. I am the person who skips over a song every time but refuses to take it off the playlist. If my life were a playlist, it would start in Stevie Wonder and end in the Google Dolls Iris. There would be much Justin Timberlake, Sade, Jill Scott, and a little Cardi B. There would be 3 different versions of Hotel California and my mother's favorite spiritual. People ask me what I do for a living, and I say I am a storyteller. And the one that has become my favorite to tell so far is my own. Thank y'all. Woo! This feels great. Thank y'all so much. Oh my God, I'm so glad my friends are here in the front. Thank you all so much for coming. So this next one, it's a fun poem. I'm so glad Sherrod wrote this music to it because it's like it needs to be like some walking down the street music. Like this feels nice. And so this poem, being a black woman in a plus size body means that other people are constantly minding my business. And so, constantly minding my business. And so this poem is about the time somebody paid me what they thought was a compliment, but it really wasn't. You have such a pretty face, he says, in a tone that implies that the rest of my body was somehow exempt from the compliment. Like I was supposed to smile and say thank you in complete lack of common sense that it's what he didn't say. I'm sure that's what he meant. I was willing to bet that this continent that lies below my neck contains a scenery he wasn't able to appreciate yet. His aesthetics needed some tweaking. So I carefully picked my words like apples from trees before I began speaking. He was blithely unaware of the fact that my face don't hold a candle to the rest of me. It is not the key factor that has helped many a sibling find rest in me. I have served as pillow for little brothers in church pews and comforted my loves as they basked in blue hues. I've been deemed personal takeaway enough times to make Build-A-Bear jealous. I keep nightmares at bay under my spell. It's this statue that contains so many details. Michelangelo couldn't correctly carve out my waist. God got happy with the mold and added more chocolate, so my face face is just the icing on the cake. If you are looking for something small, then I suggest you count me out. Some things are easily broken, but I am a brick house. With thighs as big as redwoods, I stand firm in my foundation, and hips as big as the women before me who've given birth to nations. More often than not, a woman's worth is based on her utility. Well, I can rock a baby to sleep on built-in shelves while cooking dinner and never miss a beat. I can rock your world whenever I wear denim with jeans that fit like I had to be poured in them. See, this continent is probably reminiscent of grandmothers who have calmed many a storm. The woman who gained more than a few pounds in the 9 months before you were born. Yes, I know. My eyes are captivating, staring to the abyss, and I could probably stop traffic with just one lick of these big lips. But I'm absolutely sure that when he complimented my face is not what he meant. I'm willing to bet that this continent that lies below my neck contains a scenery he wasn't able to appreciate yet. Yes, I may have a pretty face, but all of me is a pretty place. And it is all of me that makes me amazing. Atlanta United, let me come talk my stuff here. These white people winning. So much. Thank y'all so much for being here. The love here is so thick. Thank you all so much. So this next poem, growing up, I was very much into fairy tales. Anybody else? I was a Cinderella girl, very specifically Brandy and Whitney Houston Cinderella, which is the superior Cinderella. And I always had this idea that love worked like you grow up and you meet Prince Charming at college, and then y'all are married 20 years and you have a few kids and you retire together. And then my friend Hunter is laughing at me because that's the joke, right? I grew up and I was like, this is not how it works, is it? Sometimes love comes and sometimes it goes. Sometimes it stays for a while. Sometimes it just gets a few snacks and then it walks out the door. And so I wrote this poem about a time where love didn't stay long, but I still learned that I could call it love. And so this poem is called Epilogue. And I begin it with a quote from the brilliant Toni Morrison in her book Jazz. She says, I didn't fall in love. I rose in it. I saw you and made up my mind. So this poem is called Epilogue. On the cusp of fall, I met a man with a name sweet as Louisiana. He brown, butter, beautiful, and brilliant as a Saturday afternoon. We love like we've been practicing. Like the years made us wiser without taking any of the softness. We black and brilliant, and together we debate politics and music and Oprah. We love like we done got good at it. Then one January Sunday, before winter could get comfortable in our bones, I reached for him, and he did not reach back. And that is how the story ends this time, not in drama or tragedy, but in love. In this one, I do not make a scene. I exit stage left and send for my things later. I eat sushi for a week. I call my sister and cry, but I do not spend the spring begging to be loved. If I have learned anything, it is not to chase ghosts. This is an exercise in love too. Learning to let go of someone when they decide to let go of you. Thank you. I got these poems real good. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm gonna give my brother a break, y'all. We have been doing this. I was just thinking backstage. I'm like, me and Sherrod have been doing this like 14 years together. So it's really cool to have like sustained friendship. We met around the corner at Georgia State University, and we've been friends ever since. So I'm grateful. So this poem, y'all got cousins. Anybody ever been to a family reunion? A few people. Family reunions are always wild times, right? Like you go, and the cool thing is that there are so many cousins. And then the bad thing is that there are so many cousins. It's like the cousin who wants to make the macaroni and cheese, but their macaroni not good. The cousin that wants to like mind everybody else's business, but theirs. And so I wrote this poem about the multitudes of cousins I have. We're from a little town called Chicago, Illinois, and from the South Side. And so this poem is called Multitudes. We contain multitudes. We weep, we fight, we know grief like an old lover. We play cards and talk shit. We play the dozens, and if y'all don't know, the dozens is when you talk about somebody's mama. We play the dozens with boundaries, because I'm going to say something about your mama. But you say something about mine and I be ready to fight. We throw shade about the potato salad. We footwork and juke. We eat fish and spaghetti. We fail, but make the trying look good. We hide Aunt Annie's wig. We scrape up $1 to go to the candy lady. We ask Daddy even after Mama just told us no. We steal a piece of Sunday dinner before it's cooled off. We burn our mouths, yet we still come back for more. We be a scorched people who know the heat of fire, yet live always to tell the story. Thank you, Mama. Multitudes is in my book called Smoke, Poems by Ashlee Haze. You can find me on the internet, Ashlee Haze. Ashleehaze, like purple. So this last final poem is a fun one for me to do. This poem has literally changed my life. And I didn't know that it would. When I wrote it, I thought that I was just writing another stream of consciousness poem about the first time I encountered the work of a woman called Missy Elliott. Y'all heard of Missy? So this poem has been taking me a lot of places, including NPR's Tiny Desk. It appears in one of our Atlanta Teams The Dreams opening intro this year. It is just, it's wild the ways that this poem has shown up in my life. And so the story goes that I wrote this poem probably 5, 6, 7 years ago now. I was listening to the old school hip hop station in Atlanta and they were playing Missy Elliott. And at first I'm like, Missy Elliott can't be old because that would make me old. And I didn't like that very much. So I wrote a poem about a time when women in hip hop worked together. They were collaborators and not competitors. I wrote about the time that me, 8 years old in Chicago, first saw larger than life Missy Elliott, who's like 5'2" in real life. And so Missy sees the poem on the internet, makes the rounds on the internet, and she messages me and she's like, yo, I love the poem. Can I have your address so I can send you something? And I'm like, dog, Missy's gonna send me an edible arrangement. Ain't that nothing? So the next day, I'm sitting at home on my couch, minding my business, watching Jeopardy. I'm an elderly millennial. And I get a knock on my front door, and Missy Elliott is standing on my front porch. She has snuck her white Corvette into my neighborhood in Atlanta. And I'm like, Missy, are you lost? And she's like, no, came to see you. So if you want to go on my Instagram page, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see a photo of a very unprepared me and Missy Elliott in my living room. So this poem is called For Colored Girls Who Don't Need Katy Perry When Missy Elliott Is Enough. Yeah. 3rd grade. I'm in the hallway and I'm sure I shouldn't have been. And Corey White comes up to me and asks, yo, have you heard the new Missy Elliott track? I reply, who is Missy Elliott? At the time, my parents only let me listen to gospel and the smooth jazz station, but that day, I went home, ran upstairs to my room, closed the door, which is a cardinal sin in a black mother's house, and I waited on TRL to come on. And then it happened. Metallics in a black trash bag filled my TV screen, and I hear the coolest thing I'd ever heard in 8 years of living. Beep, beep, who got the keys to the Jeep? Vroom. And at that moment, I have my entire life figured out. I was gonna grow up to be Missy Elliott. I spent the next 10 years of my life grinding and recording videos to learn dance moves, passing that Dutch, getting my freak on, trying to figure out what the hell she was saying and working. There were so many artists I could have idolized at the time, but Missy was the only one who looked like me. It's because of Melissa Elliott that I believe that a little black girl from Chicago could dance until she felt pretty, could be sexy and cool, could be a woman playing a man's game and not be apologetic about it. If you ask me what representation is important, I will show you my velour outfit and the matching Kango hat I begged my parents for. I will show you a woman who learned how to dance until she felt pretty. Feminism wears a throwback jersey, bamboo earrings, and a face beat for the gods. Feminism is to rap Missy Elliott, Lil' Kim, Angie Martinez, and Left Eye on the Not Tonight track. Feminism says, as a woman in my arena, you are not my competition. As a woman in my arena, your light doesn't make mine any dimmer, dear Missy. I did not grow up to be you, but I did grow up to be me and to be in love with who this woman is, to be a woman playing a man's game and to not be apologetic about any of it. If you ask me what representation is important, I will tell you. On days I don't feel pretty, I hear the sweet voice of Missy singing to me, pop that, jiggle that back, and don't stop, get it till your clothes get wet. I will tell you that right now there are a million girls just waiting to see someone who looks like them. Thank you all so much. My name is Ashlee Haze. This is my brother Sherrod Allen. Thank you. Follow me. I'm on Ashlee Haze, ASHLEEHAZE. Haze, Instagram, Twitter, all that. Please remember to hydrate, moisturize, mind your business, wash your hands, and wear your mask. And I'll see y'all next time.